Hi, I'm Nia Cattell, and today I'm going to make for you bruschetta with Philadelphia cream cheese and garlic spread. The ingredients we'll be using today are 6 Italian cheese, lemon juice, Kalamata olives, Philadelphia cream cheese spread, garlic and butter, toasted multigrain French bread, red onions for sweetness and color, tomatoes, and 1 teaspoon of parsley. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to chop our tomatoes and our onion and our garlic in a chopper to save time. If you have one, it's a great little item. Chop it up really, really well. What's great about this is if you're really frustrated that day, chop it up, get it together. Okay, now we're going to put the last of our tomato in. And we use 2 tomatoes altogether. Don't worry if it's a little messy. Everything will get cleaned up in the wash. Now we're going to add them together with our parsley. I'm going to add the juice of 1 whole lemon. Put that all in there. And you want to make sure you don't have any paper cuts or anything like that because this is really going to burn if you do. Okay, the juice is in there. And you juice it upside down to keep the majority of the seeds out. Okay, we're going to mix that together. Kind of fold it up. Just keep stirring, make sure everything's mixed together. And then we're going to put it over to the side, let it marinate for a little bit because we don't want to offend. Okay, now for convenience sake, I've already toasted the French bread, but you want to use what's called take and bake because it's a nice fresh French bread. And because it's not fully cooked, it'll toast up very well in your oven. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to take our garlic and our butter and we're going to brown it. Okay, now we're just kind of sort of melting the garlic and the butter together. I'm going to fry it up. We want it to be a nice golden brown. You don't want to burn your garlic because it has a bitter taste, and this will give it a little slightly nutty flavor. So we're going to leave that to brown for just a minute or so. Okay, now our garlic is nice and brown. Smells awesome. I love garlic and butter together. It's one of the best smells you could ever get. Okay, we're going to put our pan back here, away. Now we're going to mix it together. Now, you want this to be hot when you mix it with the cream cheese. It'll blend together really well this way. If it's hot, it'll mix well. And as you can see, the butter helps to somewhat melt the cheese. Okay? And you're going to fold it slightly. It's going to be lumpy, don't worry, because of the garlic. Okay, we'll just keep mixing that up. Takes about a minute or so. As you can see, it's starting to blend together. And this is going to be our spread for our French bread toast. Now, we'll set this to the side for just a second. Now we're going to take our olives. We're going to chop these up really quickly. You don't have to worry about cleaning your chopper or whatever you're using because we add the olives last because, well, they're already fermented and they're going to go nicely in. We want all the juices and all the flavor there. So we mix that again. Okay? Make sure it's nice and uniform. What I love about this recipe is that it's very colorful. It's an elegant dish and even your kids will like it. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at all the colors. We have the nice purple from the red onion, the red from the tomatoes, the green from the parsley. It just really looks good, and it's such a nice presentation that your guests will really be awed by what you've done, and they'll think you took all day doing it. Okay, we have everything together now so we can assemble our bruschetta. We have our bruschetta tomato mixture, we have our Philadelphia cream cheese with garlic and butter, we have our toast, and we have our cheese to top for garnish. So let's get started. Okay, now we're going to take our pan, and since it's a dark pan, I put a piece of parchment paper on it to keep from burning the bottom of our toast, and that's very important. Whenever you use a dark pan, make sure you have something lighter underneath so you don't burn your product. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to place a couple of toast on the pan. We're going to take roughly about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon. You can be very liberal with the spread. It depends on your taste. We're going to spread it on the toast. I'll do one with a lot, one with a medium amount, and one with a slightly small amount so you can see that you don't need a lot. And then one with a lot. because this smells so good. I wish you guys could be here. This is just, everything about this dish just says eat me, okay? Now we're gonna put a little bit of the bruschetta mixture on top. I love this. You should smell the garlic, the olives, the tomato, even the lemon juice is just making it terrific. Now, the reason we used parsley in this particular recipe is because we don't want our flavors fighting it out. We're using a slightly smoked cheese, and you don't want the parsley fighting for domination. So, the next thing we're going to do, our final piece of the puzzle, is to put our 6 cheese on top. Just a little bit, as much or as little as you like, okay? And then we're going to put it in the oven to brown. Now remember, you don't want your cheese to get too brown because people have a tendency to think that it's burned. So you just want it to be a golden brown, sort of like your garlic from earlier. And now, as you can see, we're going to place it in the oven. Okay? Place it in our oven, and we're only going to place it in for like a minute or so. We have it under the broiler, and it's really, really hot. So, okay, now we're going to take this out of the oven. All right, there we go. Okay. And we're going to put it on our plate. We have a nice, cute little orange plate. Now, remember, when you make this dish, it's going to go directly under the broiler. So, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you only have it in for about a minute and keep your eye on it the whole time. Put it on the top rack closest to the broiler. Do not leave the stove or you will be sorry. Now this is a great party dish. It's a great holiday dish. It's the perfect appetizer for an office party, you know, when you don't know what to fix and you want to impress everybody in your office. Make sure you put it on a nice plate, arrange it, make it look mouth-watering. Remember, people eat with their eyes first. So, enough said. Now, this is my absolute favorite part. That is so good. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I know I am.